It's your boy Wasteland Panda. This Sanctuary Hills was built in the Wasteland Reborn multiverse, set to the timeline of 2 years after the Enclave crushed the Brotherhood of Steel in the America Rising 2 storyline mod. Let's take a look at how the Wasteland and Sanctuary Hills has changed under its new management. As a young man, Sullivan always enjoyed when he would go shopping at Faneuil Hall Marketplace on the water with his parents. So, being that Sanctuary has waterfront, he thought, why not recreate the shopping and dining experience that Faneuil Hall had to offer, but at Sanctuary Hills. With Merchant's Walk, we're trying to bring back the nostalgia of pre-war dining and shopping along the waterfront. Ron Staples, we have Meyerlurk's Seafood Restaurant and Grill. It's pretty early in the day, so there's nobody here for Ron. Now we got the shopping, we got Vault-Tec goods. Now, it was difficult for me to convince the Vault-Tec salesman that it'd be okay for him to be next to another scrap shop. He has 200 years of sales experience. I said, you'll be okay, man. We got hemmed up with Anna Hargraves. She's a little upset that her booth is so small. I told her if she could produce a little business, then maybe we'll hook her up with something bigger. Thirsties, it's a little speakeasy. Once in a while we'll catch Preston sneaking back there when we can't find him. That's where he's at.
Don't worry if you screw a few things up on the settlement. It's not the end of the world. That already happened.
Dun, 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 dun. 2 bits, shave and a haircut. That's what Bob came with the thespians. No, I didn't. I said thespians. She came with the thespians too. She was the drug dealer for the group, though. Huey came with the thespians too. He said that he found all these comics at a underground comic shop, a Huber's comic shop in the pit, pretty much untouched. So he gathered up what he could, and he was looking for a safe space to peddle all of his wares. I said, look, man, you got some, you let me read some of these comics and let me have some of these toys, and yeah, man, and no problem. I'll give you a cheap spot at Sanctuary Hills. And then here we are. Nice, comfortable spot for all of the people to come and read a couple of comics or some self-help manuals. For some reason, I always just liked this area, and I thought that it would be a good place to give the settlers a shopping and dining experience. It's comforting and relaxing. I'm sure you are. You're always feeling swell. Next, we're on to the 2 biggest loudmouths that Sanctuary Hills has to offer. Both Smiling Larry and the Scribe. We call them the odd couple. Old man Abernathy is constantly sending his daughter down from the farm to tell these 2 to shut up because he can hear them arguing at 3 or 4 in the morning about the dumbest of things. Without firepower, you're just another corpse waiting to happen. Doesn't matter how thick your tin can is, if a raider puts one in your eye socket, you're done. Oh please, your fancy rifle won't do squat if your chest is caved in by a super mutant sledgehammer. A good chest plate keeps you breathing long enough to pull that trigger. You can always hear them yapping back and forth all throughout the entire settlement. It does get a little old. I agree with Abernathy all the time, and I think that I might have to put an end to it. Put these boys in timeout, I'd say. With the Enclave now in control of the Commonwealth, they have established the Provision Route Authority. Outside of the established caravans, all new provision routes between settlements, Forward Operating Base, and Provisional Route HQ, Fort Ward, are manned by sentry drones, along with contracting the Minutemen as provisional escorts going to settlements all over the Commonwealth. May God bless the Enclave and the USA. Ever since the inception of the EPRA, commerce in the Commonwealth has never been safer. Huh, Kara?
Sometimes it helps me work if I imagine I'm doing it for someone. I hope you don't mind if I use you. You're an inspiration.
Well, I appreciate you, man. So, all the trade routes have been secured and are much safer thanks to all the efforts the Enclave are taking to restore safety to the Commonwealth.
Let me know if you want something.
Look, we got the cooking station, there's a chem station, places to chill out here for all the provisioners that are the original provisioners, the OG provisioners, not the Enclave provisioners. We got WUSA, Voice of the Enclave radio station. So now that the operations are at full capacity on the oil rig, both myself and Chief Engineer Myers agreed to bring the radio operations on shore to free up resources on the oil rig. We got Clayton here. He's always manning the radio. Up next is what most people call the menace of the neighborhood, but it's what I call the frat house, the home of Preston, Sturgis, and Sheffield, the boys.
I know I spend a lot of time going to the bathroom, but I'm not slacking off, I swear.
Whoa, whoa,
Just
whoa.
a small platter.
Too much information, Evan. You should probably go to the infirmary about your issue. Alright, so here's the boys' house, or what I like to call the frat house. They keep a clean house. Look, there's the antlers to the rad stag that Preston took out with one shot of his laser musket. He gored a couple of settlers one day. They keep a clean home, but only because we forced them to. There's Preston's room, real nice. Across the way here is Sturgis. It's a little sloppy. Back here, that's Sheffield's. He don't have much, but he's happy to at least have a cot and a ceiling over his head. So the boys are out back. They're trying to get a car running again, but really, they just spend most of their time tossing back warm beers, but not Sheffield, of course.
I gave up alcohol after settling down here. Doctor said I shot my liver.
Look, they're trying to drop the engine down in here. I always tell him it's a frat house, and Preston asked me if I ever belonged to a frat house before the war. I told him on the weekends I'd belong to one if I was lucky. He said, really? I said, yeah, I belong to the I Ate a Pie. He said, I don't get it. I just laughed and said, yeah, that checks out. So here's the police station. Prestondale sitting up there posted with dog meat like always. We got some power armor, XO1 loaned over from the Enclave. We got some security, surveillance all over the place here. This is where we store some of the more powerful weapons, the trench cleaner and the commando rocket launcher. Pretty simple back here, nothing but just a toilet and a cot. Prisoners aren't here for very long. Vertibird usually picks them up and drops them off at Starlight P Farm or Fort Independence Maximum Security Prison. So it looks like here's a place for rent. 550 caps per month paid to the Enclave Provision Route Authority. This leads us to Audrey, and the only public lodge in town. I met Audrey back in the Commonwealth in some dealings with the Cabots. After I helped her tie up some loose ends with some family business, she bought this building and opened up her hostel. And it makes a lovely addition to the community, and everybody, even though she's a ghoul, absolutely loves Audrey. And, you know, it's really nice too. She's really taken a liking to Mama Murphy, and she's become Mama Murphy's best buddy. And that's good too, because now Mama Murphy bugs everybody else a whole lot less. Mama Murphy doing her thing.
You remind me of a young man I used to know. Never looking for trouble, but always finding it.
Yeah, that's me. You know it. Good kitty. Sanctuary Hills Mega Surgery Center with Doc Anderson and Curie. It's a perfect blend of old world high-tech medicine and wasteland homeopathy. Both of them doing their best to keep settlers healthy, happy, rad, and addiction-free. From poultices and tinctures to stim packs and mentats, these ladies have you covered. Courtney, a private in the Enclave, placed on special assignment by me, Operation Fuzzy Buddy. Bring happiness to the settlers across the Commonwealth by supplying dogs and cats to have as loyal companions in security, along with using her trapping skills to provide the Enclave with wasteland specimens. She's got herself a nice little spot back here, huh? This right here is something interesting. Since the Enclave now is in control of the Institute, instead of synths, we have them create these things that will actually help humanity, like that fusion generator back there. Oh, we got some nasties back here. Maybe one day I'll just let them out without the beta wave emitter on and see what the settlers of the town do. I have to turn off the 3 20mm flat cannons, though.
This one time, I was minding my own business, and some guy calls me Toots. Toots! I was carrying a gun. Who calls a woman carrying a gun Toots? Needless to say, he is literally dead to me. To everyone.
Later, Toots.
I killed him.
Here we have Settler's Poorhouse. And this guy, his name is Settler. He came up to me and said, "Sir, I've got a ton of caps and a few good friends, and we have a dream of opening up a bar in a safe place with friendly faces." I asked the fella, I said, "Guy, what's your name?" And he said, "Well, everyone calls me Settler, so I guess that's my name." I told him, "Settler, huh? That's pretty generic." He asked me, how do you know my name?" I said, "What, Settler?" He said, "No. Well, you said it wrong, but it's generic." I said, "Generic?" He goes, "Yeah, that's my first name." I said, "Hold on. So your name is Generic Settler?" All right, bro. You got a cheap spot here in Sanctuary Hills just because of your name. Matter of fact, this is I think this is his room. Uh-huh. Wonder what he's using that magazine for. Probably friends with Dirty Jim. Here we have the super duper mart.
This is your plan? Pay as you exit? Isn't that what the customers were doing already?
Kind of. I guess. Shut up.
And discount clothing Fallon's Rack. And it's ran by retired Enclave Major Whitmore, who likes to be named Pumpkin, and her cat, Spicy, who got hurt fighting the Brotherhood of Steel. Now she runs the super duper mart with her cat.
I have some dice my brother gave me. I try and pass a charisma check before I talk to anyone, just to make sure.
She's just enjoying her days hanging out with her cat, an easy life without combat, but does love the occasional skirmish if some raiders or some muties are dumb enough to show up and show out. Oh, we got a little changing room back here. Here's the clothing. Here's Pumpkin's room.
People have some weird misconceptions about vault dwellers.
Hey, you get down from there.
We put our jumpsuits on one leg at a time. Same as everyone else.
We'll just walk the rest of the way for most of the tour. Some fitness for everybody. Mostly for the people who are being recruited into the Enclave or the Minutemen for the police. There's the recruitment office. There's a bunk upstairs, but there's not much as far as decoration goes. Here's my old home.
Huh?
Keeping it OG as possible. Living room is pretty much the original standard living room. I did add the Yogi Bear head up there on the wall, though. Fun fact, that was actually from a bear that tried to raid this settlement. We got Sean's room. He's got the Red Ryder BB gun with the compass on the stock and the thing that tells time. I told him don't shoot his eye out. And he said, I know how to make laser rifles. I'm not going to shoot my eye out with BB rifle, Dad. I'm okay, smart ass. Alright. So down here is MEPS. It's like the barracks for people entering the military. You know, you sign up at the recruiter. You got a night or two here at MEPS. You get checked out by Doc Anderson or Curie. You stay in a bunk. You get outfitted, and then Vertibird comes and picks you up and takes you off to basic training. Commander Todd Howard. Phoebe and Phineas's room. The Wasteland Players, or as I called them, the Thespians, and their leader, Terrence. Real nice guy. I met Terrence and his caravan of little trailers attached to Brahmins and a gang of folks at the entrance to the glowing sea. Terrence told me that his traveling actors are looking for a home to entertain folks and make cats. And from what he was told, the Boston Library is untouched except for some super mutants, and he needs new material for his actors. I said, brother, I got the place for you. Now, getting the amphitheater dome here to Sanctuary Hills is a long story involving drama with high command and a lot of vertibirds. There's Terrence. Right now, I think that they're performing Macbeth. We got the stage here. Draws a crowd sometimes. They change up from now and then. They have some different things that they show. Oh look, I got the commie whacker. Perfectly preserved pie. Everybody likes to hang out in the Nuka Lounge. God bless the Enclave. Looks like the band needs to clean up their mess. If they don't clean up their mess, they might end up being a provisioner out into the glowing sea. There's a little lounge back here. Nice place to enjoy your chems. So that will complete the daytime tour. Now we'll have a nice leisurely stroll around Sanctuary Hills at night to take in all the crispy lighting while we do the build's breakdown. Thank you so much to everybody that stayed to the end of this video for the nighttime walkthrough and the breakdown of what built this Sanctuary Hills. So this Sanctuary Hills build was from the Wasteland Reborn mod pack. It's about 850 mods to completely overhaul the look and feel of Fallout 4, from graphics to the way the game plays. You can see this is a little different looking, of course, than the average Fallout 4. I've never really used mods for doing any construction. Like all of these little shacks here along the side of the river were all from the CvC Dead Wasteland mod inside the mod pack. Each one of them, like, it's pretty cool. They, instead of having a whole booth for your vendors, like in the vendor section, they just have little squares that you could place down where you want your vendors to go. So that's, I mean, like, why didn't they just put that in normally? I mean, instead of having everybody stand in some generic looking booth every time that says bar on it, just give them a place to be able to stand to be the vendor. I thought that's pretty ingenious. But yeah, each one of these booths are like a prefab shack from the CvC Dead Wasteland. Each one of the places where the people are standing are each one of these little, like, graphics on the fences here. The Nuka-Cola, the Nuka-Cherry, they're also from the CvC Dead Wasteland in the decoration section. The Wasteland Reborn mod pack doesn't allow you to scrap any of these buildings in the Sanctuary Hills settlement. They only give you the option to rebuild using the construction materials. Like, for instance, this house where the Enclave Provision Route Authority is located is normally a big pile of scrap that you have to scrap. It wouldn't give me the option to scrap it. I would have preferred to scrap it, honestly, because I do like building some of my own things. But it didn't really give me the option to do that, so I just went with it. The Enclave Provision Authority route sign, that's something that I got from another Fallout content creator that I enjoy watching, Oldie Noodle. She made that sign out of 10 Pines build using the marquee and the concrete door construction piece, so I just kind of mimicked that. So the Wasteland players back here, back there's the little trailers that they lived in. That was from a prefab trailer mod in the mod pack. Like, it just had a bunch of trailers in there. I thought it would be cool to have like a little trailer home section for some of the settlers instead of always having to live in one of the shanties that you rebuild or whatever. And it kind of went along with the storyline that I was cooking up for the thespians. Here's Preston's house. I really had a good time doing the whole role-playing thing. It's not something that I generally do with any of my builds, but a couple of people that I've been watching recently, like Oldie Noodle, as I mentioned before, and Great Grandpa Gamer, he's real funny. They like to do little scenarios for their builds, and I thought that would be kind of a fun thing, something that I don't normally do. And it did actually help me enjoy building this time. And I'm going to be honest, this is probably the last time I'm ever going to build in Sanctuary Hills. It's too much space. You can't, and me doing the building that I do, I tend to get overzealous. And I just, like, you can't even believe how much I've had to delete. This game kept crashing over and over again anytime an event would happen in Sanctuary Hills. Always make sure to get rid of any extra food, like crops or purified water that ends up in your, your workshop. That way you can avoid constantly being raided. Because it would just crash. Like, I've so many times, I had so much more built here that I had to go and delete, and then I'd put some things back, and then I'd start building again. Like, you would think that because these, you just rebuild these buildings, that it would have helped with the build limit, but it didn't. It gave me just a terrible build limit to start off with, like normal. And being the Triangle of Death, where Sanctuary is, I'm not able to build at Abernathy or Red Rocket because of the limitations of the memory leak and all that due to Bugfesda. So I did the best that I could. I really hope that you've enjoyed this Sanctuary Hills build. I have a 10 Pines Bluff build that I'm about to drop soon too. I really enjoyed that one as well, and there's a little bit more going on simply because it just allowed me a lot to be able to do more with less crashing. Right over here, this wall that it's up, that's in the Homemaker prefabs section for security. I think that's the wall to Diamond City right before you go in. I love this little radio station here. Alright, so everybody, thank you very much. I like I said, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out. And see you next video. Stay safe out there, Wastelanders.
I just cashed out on a feature. Then cuz said he want a better verse. That reality is all augmented like y'all living in the metaverse. I'm authentic when I run a verse.